Welcome to the show. I'm very happy that you joined me here tonight. It's Tuesday, it's 7 p.m. Central European Time, and it's time for the Immigrant Spirit podcast, where every week we interview a German employer who offers jobs in English. And before I tell you who is my guest today, and today we have a very special episode of the Immigrant Spirit podcast, I want to share some good news with you. Maria got a job. Maria Krylova wrote me this week, Dear Chris, I would like to thank you for your support and help in the job hunt. I finally moved to Germany to start a new career path. I now work in Hanover in the field of airports planning. And I was lucky enough, she writes, not to deal with the HRs when she applied. Instead, she got contacted directly with the Vorstand, and she writes, Maria writes, after the interview, they offered me the contract in 15 minutes. So congratulations, Maria. You have an exciting journey in front of you now, moving from Moscow to Hanover. Finally, you come to the big city. And I wish you all the best in your new career here. If you want to participate in this podcast, I say it in advance, you can open this interview in YouTube, and you have a chat window there where you will be able to ask questions to me and to my guest. And if you listen to this podcast after the recording, please feel free to sign up at pyak.eu/podcast. That's my name, pyak.eu/podcast. And you will get an invite every time we have a live interview with a German employer who offers jobs in English. So, but now I don't tease you anymore. I would like to introduce my guest for today. Please welcome with me Marc-Stefan Brodbeck, CEO of Jobs from Germany. Hello, Marc-Stefan.
Chris, hi. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, we are very glad to have you here. And it's especially interesting because you have a very unique business model. Please tell our listeners, what is your company doing?
Well, my company is a recruiting company. We help German employers to find people, to find talents they can hire. And we do that abroad, not in Germany. We do that outside of Germany in other countries for subsidiaries of these German companies, as well as for companies looking for international talents to bring them to Germany. So we have both concepts and both business parts for countries and subsidiaries, as well as bringing people to Germany. And the main idea we had when we created this company is, of course, the brand we use. The brand of the company is called JobsfromGermany, which is close to the famous Made in Germany slogan. So we play with that, and the very positive image that German companies have in many countries, which is absolutely correct, because everything you think about German companies, they are good employers, good teams, they pay good wages. They are a little bit boring and gray sometimes, but they are very, very team-spirited and innovative. So all of those cliches are more or less right. If we play with them and we find top talents, like you guys are, if I got right by Chris, for German companies.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because you see both ways. You see German companies who hire international talent abroad and bring it to Germany, and you also see German companies moving abroad to basically go to the places where their customers are, and also nowadays where the talent is. What do you think? Which trend is at the moment still stronger?
Well, I see something very interesting. Let me just explain that before I started this business, my own business, I was responsible for recruiting in Deutsche Telekom, one of German's biggest companies, operating around the globe. I often try to bring international talents here to Germany, to a German headquarter, to German business, for diversity reasons and talent reasons and so on. And it was quite difficult to bring people to Germany, especially to bring German employers or my own employer to accept or to take people from abroad if they don't speak perfectly German. And that changed a little bit, because right now I see, when I talk to my customers, I see a different movement right now, that not all of them, but many of them, I go there, I tell them we can hire for you wonderful talents abroad for your subsidiaries in the countries. And many of my customers answer me, fine, good idea. I need people here. Can you bring them here? So right now in my business, it's more or less 50-50, I would say. And it has never been like that before. I was really astonished during the last weeks or months to say about that. But it's in my business, it's around about 50-50 right now.
Yeah, and if you watch the news today, the Chamber of Commerce in Germany, they published a new evaluation of I think 24,000 companies in Germany, and now 60% of them say that the shortage of skilled labor is their biggest worry, and it's actually in many cases a threat to their business. So hopefully we will see some change there by now.
Absolutely. I'm honest. In the same situation, many of them, again, not all, thanks God, but many of them say people need to speak German if you bring them here. That's the other side of the medal, which is not that easy, of course. But I see a change there as well. So you're right, Chris. It's the shortage of talents will change things, and there are more and more companies accepting people that speak English at least, and teach them German if necessary. But we are not yet done with that. It's a beginning.
Yeah, but Pain is a very good educator, I learned over there.
Absolutely. pain and money.
Exactly. Yeah, now we talked about the general situation. Let's talk about your company concretely, and then a little bit about your clients. First of all, when I'm listening to you on the podcast now, what do you want me to think about your company and about your offer? What kind of people do you want to attract?
Good question. Thank you. The variety of my customers is big. Okay, it's a big variety. There are customers from manufacturing companies, automotive, of course. After all, we are in Germany. Chemistry companies, retail. Since the brand we use is not specialized in something in one branch, it's a broad variation. Most.
Hello, here you got lost for a second. Are you still there? Mark, are you still there? Hello, Mark, are you still there?
Of the hirings we look for
Mark,
yes.
can you hear me? Yeah, you got lost there for a moment.
Hello.
The last thing that we heard was most of my clients, and then you were gone for a second.
Okay. Hello. I can hear you, Chris. Can you hear me?
And now we hear you again. So the last thing that we heard from you was most of our clients, and then you were gone. Please, maybe I can tell.
Look for, or at least not the clients. Look for the positions are for people that did studies before. IT professionals, for example, quality manager, project manager. Of course, many different IT jobs. Like in every country of the world, IT people is what we need right now. So graduates as well as experienced people, which we are looking for. There are some special positions from time to time. Right now, I'm looking for a welder, for example. And I'm looking a welder.
A welder, okay.
Yeah, Schweißer in Germany. Yeah. In German. And we are looking right now for a nurse for a company, a childcare in the headquarters of a big German company. So sometimes you see we have interesting or strange. It's not really strange, but untypical profiles as well that come in, and then we look for that as well. But the majority of the positions are for graduates or people, experienced people that did studies before, IT, Something very special where you don't need studies, but some experience is right now and very interesting positions in a brand new plant, a chemistry plant that will be built in Germany, which will be absolutely unique in Europe. 500 million they invest to create a complete new clean room factory, which produces some extremely sophisticated medicine for their customers, for people who need that to survive. Very special jobs. All those jobs, the more special they are very well paid, far above average. So interesting positions located in Germany, and many of them you need German, at least basics to understand your colleagues, or a training in the beginning of the job, an integration period or something. But many of them tell me English is absolutely okay. And the typical German company tells us, bring me someone somewhere from Europe, if possible. If not, every destination is right.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting.
That's the job market anywhere. That nowadays the problems that the companies try to solve with these positions, they're so specific that you need a very unique kind of professional to solve these problems.
Absolutely,
with a very unique background. Yeah.
But you asked me what I would like to think people about when they think about my company. First of all, and perhaps you allow me to add that, don't think about a job board. We do not post jobs, and we are not a job board where you can look for the open positions, because in all those years when I've been recruiting manager and in the situations where I applied for myself looking for a job, I always saw one thing: to apply is not good. Nobody loves it. I hate it. I do not like to apply, to get negative answers, to get interviews with people, strange people from time to time. No one really likes that.
On both sides of the table, by the way.
To be very honest. Yes. So what we decided in Jobs from Germany is that we do that for our candidates. People register on our platform, meaning that since we don't have a platform in Germany so far, just send me and CV as a PDF or whatever. And we care for the rest. We look for companies. We do the matching. If we find a positive matching, if we think there could be a combination that is interesting for the candidate and the company, the first person we contact is always the candidate, telling him or her, now we found a good matching. We have an interesting German company looking for someone just like you. Tell them what company it is, what they offer, and try to sell the position to the candidate, which is much better for every candidate than do it vice versa. And if he or she says, that sounds interesting, then we send the documentation to the company and bring them together. And we stay with the candidate during the entire process, because, as I said, I never like to apply for myself. So we really, really want to do that in a very positive way for our candidates.
Yeah, this is very positive. The same, I make the same experience with my coaching clients when I work with them, that they all find jobs in the end. And actually, a lot of people who read my book, How to Win Jobs and Influence Germans, they
very good.
They write me that they got a, thank you. they write me that they found a job, and every single time the story they tell is, to one way or the other, I got to talk to a manager in the company, and he told me about what was going on, and I told him what I was doing in the background, and someone made an introduction. And I think that's the valuable service that you also provide, because basically what you do is you lend your reputation to the candidate.
Very well said. Thank you. Absolutely. Because I just heard when you told about, it was Maria, right, who found a job.
Yes.
And well, what she said hurts me, being or having been a recruiting manager in a company, because it's absolutely right. Usually you have much bigger chances if you bypass the HR department or recruiting department and you talk to a manager. But in many cases that's just not possible. And if you have to go through the normal door, so to say, it is good to have a partner on your side who guides you through the door, and that's exactly what we try to do.
Yeah. Let's talk about maybe one or two concrete positions that you are offering right now, a little bit more in detail. I know all your clients are equally close to your heart.
Of course.
Obviously. But there are always some things that are more urgent, more pressing, that could really help you if you could get this off your plate. If you would if you like, tell us about one positions that is on your mind right now, and for which listeners could apply if they're interested.
Okay, I just already told you about this new chemistry plant that will be built, and I think this is one of the most interesting jobs we have to offer for someone who loves to do that. But the burning topics for me, you're right, are much more the IT topics. IT is always difficult.
Can you give us a concrete?
Yeah, absolutely. I've one customer in the automotive area looking for PLC programmers, so, people that who can program robotics in construction plants, control them, program them, maintain them. They have several dozens of positions right now because they are really growing fast. Because they invented something special. I'm not a technician, so their business runs very good, and they are urgently looking for dozens of people in this area. And I think this is a very interesting area, and the company itself is. I like them very much because when you enter in a company's building, I think during the first minutes, even you know if it's a good place or a challenging place, so to say. And this is a good place to work. Each time I'm there, I feel good, and I think it's very interesting position. So everything about PLC programming, which is called SPS in German, programming. PLC is an international term, and around this topic, really a growing market in a very good company.
If I would like to apply for this position, what could I tell you, or what should I tell you to make it very easy for you to evaluate me?
Okay. The more I know, the easier it is, of course. We allow people to send us just the CV, nothing else, or a LinkedIn profile, or both. But the more we can see in that, as the experience you have, the more interesting it is. At the end, it's enough to see that you have a special experience in a field, and I don't need the complete life history. I don't need everything about you, because if I have the right, if I got the right trigger, we will contact you, and then we will talk, and we'll ask you everything we need, because as I told you, we try to sell the position to the candidate, and after that, the second step is we try to sell, so to say, the candidate to the company. So now today, I'm asking the company many questions to be able to talk about the company, and then we will ask many questions to the candidate, able to talk for him or her. But the important thing is to have a trigger, to have the right terms. If you're an SAP HANA hero, let us know. If you speak different languages, let us know. Languages is something very interesting, because there's one rule for those German companies. If a German company works abroad, they don't stop with one location. In average, they have 10 locations where they work. And that means that if you hire in one of those locations, for example, the chance to change country, the chance to change location to another country or to Germany, if you speak languages, is really big. So these are things we need to know. Everything
it's very
else, like
interesting, just
motivation,
to let you know right now, because I'm looking at the same time what is happening in our chat, and it seems there are already people who are interested in this very concrete position, and actually a little discussion among themselves. One gentleman, Ahmed, writes he's looking for as an electrotechnic engineer, and he says he has Erfahrung in SPS, for example, S7 Mark 6 for a job offer in Germany. But he wrote before that the companies that he applied to before, they always were reluctant to hire him because of the visa requirements, even though he's willing to pay for visa himself.
Okay.
Just to be totally open, I have no clue what S7, Mark 6, or any of these things is. I just read what he writes.
These are all, no, this is exactly what I meant. These are all triggers that make me smile, okay? Because I know what that means, and this is very interesting. Could he or she perhaps just get in touch with me, send me his or her CV or an email?
I will post a link to your Xing profile, LinkedIn profile. Would that be appropriate, or better per email?
LinkedIn profile is good, and I will give you my email as well. Both is okay. Both is okay.
Yep. Okay. Then what I will do
Xing
is
doesn't make that sense. I think because the people
more
listening to us
crowd.
are so international, and Xing is very German.
Yeah. What I would propose is, if it's okay with you, I will post your LinkedIn profile and the link to your company website as well, of course, in the transcript of this podcast today, so that people can reach out to you.
Perfect.
I wouldn't publish your email there, because then you will get millions of spam mail in the future.
Oha. Good.
Because there are spiders who crawl the web and they take out the email
addresses. LinkedIn is good.
Good. Yeah. So Ahmed, you heard Marc-Stefan is looking forward to hear from you. And there was another gentleman, Justin, who also seems to know a little bit about this topic. And that's one position. Do you want to tell?
Several positions. It's several positions. As I said, they are looking for dozens of people. So this is really this is much more than one position, and there are different level of positions. There are technicians for that, programmers for that, people maintaining that, and so on. Other positions, we are in Germany. I think this is more interesting for our audience. We are looking for Java programmers and C++ programmers, classical profiles, of course. For a quality manager right now, we are looking for a head of quality management, to be precise. Variety of positions. And by the way, if there's a nurse listening to us, we have an interesting place for a nurse in Munich, extremely good paid for that, but needs to have a formation as a nurse. No one who's just learning that.
Marc-Stefan, you just read my mind, because I get a lot of requests from nurses from all around the world.
Really?
And very often, every day.
I have no experience in that. Okay, this was something completely new for me.
Yeah, I think at the moment I have about 170 nurses who are looking for a job in Germany, all around the world. Very often with very good additional education. Like nurses who work in emergency, and nurses with background in the operation theater, and so on and so on and so on. The challenge that they have in a traditional hospital is that in Germany, to work in a hospital, you are legally required to speak German at B2 level. So in
my special case, it's the same, by the way, because it's childcare. It's not a hospital; it's childcare. Okay, it's a kindergarten, a company's kindergarten in the headquarters of a company. But of course, the children in Munich, well, they speak German. They even speak Bavarian, but okay, let's call that German. Same thing. You need to speak German for that, unfortunately. Yeah.
But do you need to speak German from the start, or would it be okay to learn German within a certain time frame?
I think if it's really from scratch, it might be difficult with the children, but depends on the level. Basics is minimum, because you can't. Don't think you can start from scratch, because if you're not able to talk to the kids, that would be a problem. And the headquarters is not that international that there are many American children or something. It's really German.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Maybe one last position to finish it up, or maybe even better, because you have how many different jobs are you recruiting for at the moment, roughly, just?
It depends. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Right now, it's okay. It's a little bit more than 100. 150. 100. Okay. There came just a new customer with some. It's between 100 and 150 in a time. We are not that old as a company. We are still young, and that is positive, because we can really care for each and everybody. It's not yet a pure mass production, so to say.
Oh,
but sometimes it's more than that as well.
Yeah. Okay. And if I'm a listener and I want to see if you have something to offer for me, where do I go? To which website can I go to find out?
As I said, there are no jobs posted because this is not our philosophy. It's different. We have a talent pool, a talent community, we call it. In this talent community, of course, we do much more than only post jobs. Not post jobs. We do more than only matching. We have, of course, a Facebook site. We have we sometimes make competitions where you can win German lessons, where you can win German newspaper weeklies and things like that. But the essential is that if someone is interested in finding a job in a German company, might it be here or abroad, doesn't matter, he or she gives us the CV, at least the LinkedIn link. Better would be a CV, nothing else, and then we call him or her if we have a positive matching. Why do I tell you that? The problem is, even in the company I worked before, so many people ask, what jobs are you looking for right now? And the problem was always that I said, I can tell you what I'm looking for today, but next week that might change completely. Yeah. And there comes in one new customer of a new topic I didn't have before, like, for example, the nurse. 4 weeks ago, I never would have told you I look for that. Even the PLC programmers, that's one company coming in with dozens of positions. That might happen next week again, or in 2 weeks, or in 3 weeks. So if someone looks for it, and this is one of the things I never liked as an applicant, you have to look. Again, exactly. That's what we do. Hand us over, give us your CV, if that's okay for someone, give us the CV or the link to the LinkedIn profile and the allowance to check for jobs, and then we will contact him or her. If we don't contact someone, that just means we don't have anything right now, but that might change next week, in 2 weeks, 4 weeks. You never know.
Marc-Stefan Brodbeck was this, CEO of JobsfromGermany. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Marc-Stefan.
Thank you, Chris.
And if you enjoyed this talk, if you found something useful for yourself in this podcast, you might consider to sign up for our newsletter at pyak.eu/podcast. That's pyak.eu/podcast. My name, basically, pyak.eu/podcast. And you will get an invite every week when we have another German employer who offers jobs in English live on air, so that you can find out how you can help this employer solve his biggest challenges, and you get a great job on the way. My name is Chris Pyak. I'm the CEO of Immigrant Spirit GmbH. I thank you very much for joining, and I see you next week again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.